This is Dave from Amplify, and I am talking to the magical Madison Taylor and the nice Nick Sampson. I don't know what I'm doing here. You, when you get old, you get senile, so you just start making things up on the cuff. How are you guys? You're
I
about to come on over. We're looking forward to
Yeah,
coming over.
we're good.
Yeah,
Thanks for
really
having
excited.
us. We're really excited.
Good, good. Okay, let's start. Let's start, and we'll try and race through these questions because I know they're probably got you got a few stacked up. Okay, how'd the band come together in LA back in 2019, just in time for COVID?
Yeah.
Where did it all begin?
It all began on a nice little website called Craigslist. And yeah, we released our first song right before COVID, which was fun. But I put out an ad on Craigslist. I was looking for other musicians to start a band with, and Nick was the first person to respond, and we met up at a studio by my house, like a rehearsal space, and the rest is history, as they say.
Unbelievable. Well, there you go. It's probably a good fodder for a TV show where it all goes south and Nick steals you and you end up over in South America. But no, that's fantastic. So the journey since then. So you went through COVID. Obviously, there wouldn't have been much performing and all that sort of gear, but you would have been a good time to make music, especially when you're young and fresh, etc. So after
Yeah.
COVID finishes, you're probably hammering. So tell us a bit about the past 5 years, 6 years.
Yeah, it's funny. We had a little batch of songs during like the pandemic that we were just like, well, we might as well put them out because we don't know what's gonna happen. So we just like put them out slowly. We had like Zoom little like release parties just between us and like just like, all right, congrats, like haha. And then, we didn't know what was gonna happen, but once things started to lift up and we were able to start, getting back in the studio safely and doing that whole thing, we were just reaching out to people we wanted to work with and kind of just start that process. We didn't really know what we were doing or what was the next step, but we just knew we just wanted to get in and start creating and also start playing around town just all the songs that we could because no one really got to see us play them. Um, but yeah, we were lucky enough to like start working on our first EP, which has like Sleepwalking and Gonna Make Sure on it, and then we just kind of kept going from there, just writing and writing, and that's kind of what we've been doing. And also touring, and now we're touring more, and now we're leaving the country, and it's just been kind of like a really fun, hardworking snowball effect.
Well, it has to be hard.
Yeah.
It always has to be hard working. Is this your first OS trip?
Yeah,
It is.
Yeah.
Well,
it's our first time, yeah,
Australia, you're
leaving
going
the
to get
country.
spoiled to some degree because the Australian fans are pretty well known as being pretty manic and in there and all that sort of stuff. And we probably leave the others for dead, but I think I'm biased, so I probably should just declare that.
It's it's funny because on our Spotify, like in our Spotify for artists that tells us like, where our streams are coming from, Australia is always at the top.
Yeah, well, we love our music down here and have done for a long time. How would you describe your sound? Emo friendly, punk, curious? What is it? What do you think it is?
Yeah, that's a conversation we have quite often, because music and genres are all just so intertwined and mixed these days. It's hard to really pinpoint an exact genre. And so it kind of started as a joke between us, honestly, because we didn't want to like pigeonhole ourselves into one specific area of music. So we're like, well, we're not punk, we're just a little punk curious, and we're not really emo. We're just we're emo friendly. So we
Ah,
fall
cool.
somewhere Yeah. In the middle. So I like to say we're an emo friendly punk curious pop rock band.
Okay, and since you came together, a lot of bands. I interview a lot of bands, and they say we met in grade two, and we've been together for 400 years, and we sort of grew up together. Your influences, you must have different influences because you sort of came together late. So who are the influences, and you probably have some common ones now, maybe that you've been discussing, but who have been the influences that have got you here?
It's actually funny because I think what drew us together via the Craigslist ad,
was because I had listed my influences just to look for people that had similar ones as me. And because you're exactly right. We have a lot of different ones, but we actually have a lot of similar ones. And the one that we connected on that I think sealed the deal for Nick was Evanescence. And
Nice.
that was a big band that, yeah, we had both grown up on. And of course, for me, it was always like Paramore. And then a huge one for me is Fleetwood Mac, Heart, Pat Benatar. I really love all of the old school, females of rock. And that's kind of what, yeah, No Doubt was another huge one for me.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
she's just
Yeah.
sensational.
yeah,
Even
Yeah.
now, she's sensational.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Mad, go ahead.
yours were similar.
Mine were, I mean,
No,
Evanescence. I grew up with like, Motley Crue, Korn, Disturbed, but I also like, I'm a huge Lady Gaga fan and a Pink fan and um, Paramore, like obviously, and just Kid Cudi and I kind of whatever, anything that had really just like good percussion and drums, I was like, this is cool. I was like, I like it.
if you go back, I reckon there's more females. You think of Joni Mitchell and Linda Ronstadt, and you think of
Oh, yeah.
all these superstar females that sort of change the mold, and they're out, they're creative and inspiring, and they probably led a lot of the well, um, what's its name, Linda Ronstadt's, what's I can't. This is the band that I'll think of it in a second. This is old age stuff. Anyhow, all right, let's get on. Your latest single, "Clean Cut," just been released. What's it all about? Where'd it come from?
Yeah, this one,
The
I
Eagles.
was,
The
what's
Eagles.
that?
The Eagles. Linda Ronstadt basically created
Oh,
the Eagles because they were all
Oh, right.
people on her
yeah,
band.
yeah.
Sorry, I just
Yeah, yeah.
I was
excuse
I
like,
knew it
Clean
would
Cut
come to
came
you.
from the Eagles.
excuse
We were
excuse
listening.
excuse the senility. Who am I? Where am I? What am I doing here? Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah, clean cut is really fun. I was really excited about it. It's one of my favorites that we've done recently just because it's so it's so upbeat and just, it's got more of that, I guess, punk curious kind of attitude to it. And it's a little bit different. We really played around with Nick and I, me being singer and Nick being drummer. Those are the two key components of the band. And so really just focusing on letting those two elements shine. I think the drums have really cool parts and fills and it switches up and it's really exciting. And then we tried to do some really cool like effects with the vocals and the verses and some like background vocal things. And so it was just, yeah, it was really exciting to play around with it and to like see where it would go. And it has such a fun energy, but the lyrics are just very much like, you need a break. Sometimes you just need to step away from your current situation and like get a hold on it. So we really like the duality there as well that kind of plays off of each other.
And you must have a debut album on the drawing board.
Say that again.
You must have a debut album on the drawing board.
Oh
I
yes.
mean, that is definitely the hope. That is, yeah, that is somewhere close on the horizon, we hope. And yeah, we're really excited to dive into that and just make it a big collaborative, fun process.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure the fans are hungry for it. So it's about time, I think. 5, 6 years, albeit that COVID was in there and you've sort of discovered, but it's about time you gave them an album, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny. We were just talking about that today too. We had a session earlier and we were just talking about a debut album and like what do we want to do and like yeah.
I think I
It's
think I think it's important long term rather than short term because I think it's important to have when you're looking back on your history. Like I see these bands and they've got 15 albums and 12 albums and one informs the other and one leads to another and all this sort of stuff. And when someone gets an album, when you tour it and when you learn a lot more about yourself because basically you get a lot of audience feedback and all that sort of gear. So rather than just sort of creating music and feeding that audience on that sort of stuff, you've got to give them an entree, a main course, a dessert. You've got to give them a main course every now and then. So they've got something that they can wrap their hands around. But not only that, usually there's a bit of recognition that comes. because it goes in the charts and someone sees it and you get an award and all this sort of stuff, or you get nominated, and all this sort of helps to build the whole picture, in my view.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, you're touring with yours truly in June. Yours, they're a fantastic band as well.
Yes.
What are you looking forward to? What can the fans expect?
Ooh.
Oh, I mean, I'm looking forward to this is a weird random thing, but this is actually our first tour that we're not traveling the normal way. We've never done like a car like a van with hotels. We've always all piled in my parents' RV when we're like driving around the States. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be a very new experience. And
You're
I'm
doing a
excited to
Foo Fighters, are you? You jump in the van and cities. That's going to be fantastic.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
A lot of traveling.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
It's
But
gonna
I
be
think it'll be fun. I think it'll be a new experience. And the fans can just expect high energy. We always love to really make the crowd feel like they're a part of the show. We kind of like break the fourth wall with them and really just give it our all. There's never, we don't like there to ever be a dull moment. So it's a very
Yeah.
inclusive, very just fun kind of like, escape with us for, the 40 minutes we're up there and have a good time with us.
Well, it's. I think the other thing is fun is you're going. There'll be a lot of yours truly fans there, obviously, that you have to break the break through with.
Yeah, yeah,
yes.
But you can
Yes.
also, it's an opportunity to build more numbers quickly. And, so
yeah. And I
that's the only way you do it at the show, because
totally.
everything else, social media gets the flickers for 5 minutes. But if you can actually get wrapped up in something, well, then you can really build on that because there's something that they've connected with.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, totally. And I think it's a great matchup with us and yours truly. I've been a fan of theirs. We both have been a fan of theirs. And so I think it makes sense musically and it's going to be a great time.
they're good people. So they'll look after you no end, I'm sure. If you could,
Awesome.
if you could perform with any music artist, alive or dead, who would you choose and why?
Ooh.
Alive or
Tough.
dead? That is tough. I would say I think I think Freddie Mercury would have been an
Yeah,
absolute. I'm sure that's such a common answer, but
I
it's
know
just it would
that
be such a cool.
live aid, half mic, crowd
Yeah,
plays, it would have been pretty cool.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I would love to, yeah, I'd love to play with Evanescence.
Yeah, well,
Something with them.
such a visual presentation.
Let me
Fantastic.
get up there and
Yeah.
do the wake me ups and bring me to life.
All right. Okay. So I would ask you about long-term aspirations, but I'm sure that they're the same as everyone that's been around for 5 years. Keep touring, bigger tours, all that sort of stuff.
You got it.
Um, what's the best thing about performing to a live audience? You perform to small ones, you probably perform to some big ones. What's the best thing about it?
Um, Honestly, I like my favorite part is seeing the heads bob, like winning them over. Because sometimes, like especially we've done a lot of opening slots, like seeing the first couple songs, seeing people just kind of stare, and then by like the third or fourth song, you'll start to see them kind of do this, and then by the end, you just see more of it, and you're like,
Which is
okay, we did
great.
it. Like I think we got them. Like
Which
don't get
is
me wrong, there have been nights when there's been no head bobbing,
No,
and we
but
walk
but
up
but
there.
they've turned up for someone else, and they're sort of saying,
Yeah,
"When are they coming on? When are they coming on?" That sort of
yes,
stuff. So it's a bit tough sometimes. It's not Hollywood. It's not like Gaga goes on, and wows the whole stadium audience sort of thing. That doesn't happen, unfortunately, or rarely.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you?
I mean, I think it's such a cool. It's so
Oh,
cool
you
that people.
said. Sorry, you said. Sorry. You were first. Apologies. Go on.
Oh no, yeah, you're good. I was just gonna say, it's so cool that people show up to these shows, even if they're showing up for a
Yeah.
different artist.
Yeah.
It's such a cool, it really feels like a community.
Yeah.
And being able to bring the music to life instead of just like you said earlier, like even behind a screen in the social media where they get little clips here and there. personalizing it, making it more of that intimate experience, or like seeing it, because that's how I feel when I go and see my favorite bands play. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's just a different
Just
level of energy.
be authentic. Just do your stuff.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the response, and the response will come. Okay, we're going to
Yeah.
finish with some questions, some favorites at the end, but a few questions just before, just to find out a little bit more about you from a point of view. What's the craziest thing you've ever done? Now, some artists decide not to tell us that, especially when they're coming in, because if they told us, they might not get in. Maybe they'd have their visas revoked or something. Revoked.
Craziest thing.
Oh man, the craziest thing I've
Anything
ever
you want? Anything you want to declare, or you can pass.
Like on tour or like just in life?
Craziest thing you've ever done? You could have put Vegemite on banana or something or other.
Uh,
Oh, that's a really good question. This one's not really that crazy, but more of a funny, dumb accomplishment is there's this game in Wisconsin that you play when you drink beer, and I am the third year running champion of the last man standing in Flip Cup. Do you guys have Flip Cup in Australia?
Yeah, I think that I can't remember, but I'm sure we.
That's my craziest title I currently hold.
Well, that's a you just go home with the partner, and he says, well, they say, this is so and so. She's the Flip Cup champion in Wisconsin, and they say,
Exactly.
sit down. That's fantastic. Something we've always been looking for.
Right.
The best.
I see, I don't think I've done anything crazy, but I've had crazy things happen to me.
You can't be a muso and not have done anything crazy. That's almost the
I
introduction.
I could tell you a crazy injury that happened to me.
Well, we
Like
better do it quick because we've got to finish in a little
when
second.
I was in sixth grade. Oh, hold on. The sirens are going by.
We
When I
can't
was
hear
in
them.
sixth grade, not sixth grade, sorry, when I was 6 years old, I accidentally walked behind my brother as he was warming up for his baseball game, and he swung and cold
Ouch.
clocked with a
That's
metal
crazy.
baseball bat and
That's
like
crazy.
Ooh.
cracked open my skull. Everyone thought I died, but I'm
So
here.
the Hollywood version is you picked up the bat and you clocked him back, and that's what was
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah. My
let's
mom,
go.
my mom's, yeah.
What's the one topic you can talk about for hours?
Ooh.
Ooh, my dog.
Vegan things.
Wow. What's the thing you like most about yourself?
Um, my sunny disposition.
Sunny, that's good. Um, I'm kind of personable. I'm good like in like network settings. I'm good at talking to people.
So
Good.
true.
That's good. Okay, finish with favorites. This will be quick. Favorite album?
Favorite
Ooh,
album. Ooh, I
I'd have to
can't.
say like Rumors, Fleetwood Mac,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, yeah. That's a great album.
Favorite album? Oh my gosh. See, that's just impossible. Uh, uh, Crap. I don't know. Anything
Okay.
Motley Crue, anything
Yeah, that's
Evanescence.
good. That's good. That's good. Favorite artist?
Evanescence.
Uh, Fleetwood Mac.
Favorite movie?
Lord of the
Postcards from the
Rings.
Edge.
What did you say? Sorry.
Postcards from the Edge.
And
I said Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. 1, 2, 3, 14, 15, 27. No, no, no. Favorite place to visit?
My cabin in Wisconsin.
Oh, sounds magnificent.
Uh, I'd say Hawaii.
Hawaii's fantastic too. Favorite venue to play?
Ooh.
Ooh.
I like
Uh,
Atlantis and DC.
I was gonna say the Atlantis.
Yeah. Favorite food?
Potatoes.
Sushi.
Favorite drink?
Good old Wisconsin old fashioned.
I was gonna say whiskey.
That's good. That's good. Favorite person in history apart from me?
Ooh, person
Favorite
in
person in
history.
history.
Yeah, it could be Joan of Arc, could be Mum.
Maya Angelou.
Oh, she's just spectacular. She is spectacular.
Uh,
Wisdom personified.
Mickey Mouse.
He's pretty good too. But, you know,
Pretty big.
pretty similar. Maya Angelou, Mickey Mouse, you know,
Mickey Mouse.
pretty balanced. And any tattoos?
0.
Yes, I have 9.
Favorite tattoo?
Oh, favorite? I like this weird one I have because I designed it on my
Yeah,
arm.
very good. Very good. That's it, guys. I love your sunny disposition. You got a new fan, and I look forward to you know, doing a lot more. And maybe we can talk later on when you've got a big white beard and you've been around for 10, 15 years, and you
All
come
right.
and you say, "Remember when we just had those little dinky sunny dispositions? Yeah, we're hard and mean. What are you doing?"
That's
That's
Okay.
awesome.
Have a great tour. Have a great tour,
Thank you.
and
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much.
bring out the album.
Will
Will
do.
do.
All right, guys. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.